In this segment, I'm going to show you how to use the new and the template feature. So first of all, simplest thing, if you want to start a new design, then you can come up and use the icon on the desktop to start a new design. So that's pretty simple, but we also have the ability to create a template and then open our new design based upon that template. Now, just to explain, a template is your ability to save the default settings. So when you start a new design, you're already in control of certain specific functions of the program. So I guess as an example, I'll just use the setup drop-down menu and look at the thread colors. So for example, right now I have my color chart set for the number of colors as 78. And we can see those down along the bottom of our desktop. In fact, these little arrows here show me that there's even more than what we're currently looking at, and I would scout to see the rest of them. Now, just as an example, what if you didn't want to have 78? Well, maybe you wanted to have more colors than 78, or maybe you wanted to have less. What if I go ahead and just create a design that only has 10 colors in it? And so I'll say OK. So now you can see here that my color palette has been reduced to 10 colors, and a template could have any number of settings that you may want to control. For example, you could go in and set your object details so that, for example, your default fill stitch would be a satin fill, or maybe you want to change your default line stitch from a single run line to be a backstitch line, whatever. You can make these types of changes. So whatever you set up can be saved. And the way you would save it is you would say under the File drop-down menu, you would choose Save As. Now instead of saving this as a Jan file, as a design file, I would open up that drop-down list. And the very last option is Template, JMT. So I would choose JMT. And now I need to give this template a name. So for example, we'll call this, let's just get rid of all of this, what's in here now. And we'll call it 10 colors. So the template name, so we currently have it default changed. When I changed this to JMT, it automatically came up with my template folder. And I can save this new template called 10 colors into that template folder. So I'll say save. So okay, we have our empty design here, and I could even go ahead and close that empty design with this window right here, this little close window box. And we have our African. I'll even close her so that we have, and then the new design, which was already on my screen. So now I have no designs open at all. And so my option would be one to say new, and when I click new here, it'll automatically open a design new based on what's known as template normal. In other words, it's the default template that kind of comes with the software. So the difference is if I say under the File drop-down menu, File and New, that's when I get the option to select the template. So it's a little difference between saying just new on the desktop and saying File and New. And now I can choose to start my new design based on either template normal, or if I wanted to, I could set my template on based on the template that we just created that only has 10 colors in it. So I'll say OK. And because I started my design based on the template 10 colors, I only have 10 colors that are in my color palette, which is a change that I had saved in this template. And so like I was saying, there's any number of things that you can control in a template, from some of the default stitch types to things like the fabric settings. So if you find that you do a lot of work that requires some really specific settings, maybe you'd like to embroider on leather, and whenever you work on leather you always make some changes, then you can save those as your defaults, and then they simply come up as your template that you can open when you start a new design. So yeah, that's a little bit more about new and creating new designs based on templates.